Welcome to GS Davao's weekly devotional. The title for this week's devotional is A Costly Mistake. Our key verses can be found in 1 Chronicles 21, 1-2 and 7-8. Then Satan stood against Israel and incited David to number Israel. So David said to Joab and the commanders of the army, "Go, number Israel from Beersheba to Dan, and bring me a report that I may know their number." But God was displeased with this thing, and he struck Israel. And David said to God, "I have sinned greatly in that I have done this thing." So si David, nagpaihap sa iyang mga tao kay Joab. Nagpatawag siya og census. So kung kaayo ang Ginoo sa iyang gibuhat, nga dili lang na mao, even si David, he felt nga dako kaayo iyang sala. And so when I read this, I wondered, ano man, sala ba nga planuhon ang tanan? Sala ba nga i-prepare ang mga tao by counting them? Sala ba nga i-assure ang tibuok kingdom nga strong kay ang kingdom kay tungod daghan kaayo mi? Daghan kay sila David ato nga time? Have you ever wondered why God became so angry when David at the time numbered Israel? I mean seriously. Harmless raman siya, di ba? Murag. Counting people, checking numbers, making sure nga prepared for the battle to come ahead. But the Bible says this decision brought judgment. In verses 14 to 15, so the Lord sent a pestilence in Israel, and 70,000 men of Israel fell. And God sent the angel to Jerusalem to destroy it. So, unsa nagapangitabo diri? Why did something so logical become something so offensive to God? Let's talk about it. Remember sa atong gibasa kaganina, then Satan stood against Israel and incited David to number Israel. David then orders Joab, "Go, ihapa ang mga tao, gikan Beersheba to Dan." But Joab pushes back and says, "Why should this be a cause of guilt for Israel?" Moto'y sumpay atong key verse nato. That question of Joab is important because at that time, Joab sensed nga na ay something off. So what are the key points that we can learn from this? Number one, numbering itself was not sinful. Dili man peti ang Ginoo nga nag-census lang, nag-number lang, suko na dayon siya. First, let's clear things up. Number one, counting people was not a sin. God Himself nag-command siya mga census nga buhaton katong sa time pa ni Moses. So no, God is not allergic to numbers. Dili siya anti-organization, dili siya anti-planning. So if counting wasn't the issue, what was? Point number two, the real issue, a shift in trust. Here's the heart of it. Gi-order ni David ang census nga walay instruction from the Lord. Nga naman, number one, pwedeng to measure military strength unsa ta kakusgan. Number two, to assess kung unsa ka sila kagamhanan as a nation. Number three, to feel secure and resources and capability. In short, gusto si David ma-assure gikan sa numbers nga hawod sila, kuyaw sila, di sila dali-dali mapildi instead of God. There was a subtle shift but a costly one. From the Lord fights for Israel to let me see what we have. And muni ang hadlok na part. That shift did not look rebellious. It looked responsible, it looked wise, it looked strategic. But the point is, it wasn't obedience. Point number three, Joab saw it. Dili perfect nga tao si Joab, but in this moment, he was spiritually alert. Ana siya, why should this be a cause of guilt for Israel? Joab understood something David momentarily forgot. Israel's strength was covenantal, not numerical. Wala nagsalig sa numbers. Their victories gikan sa presence ni Lord, dili tungod sa size lang army. Even Joab could see it. This decision wasn't coming from faith, it was coming from pride. And pride doesn't always shout. Sometimes pride whispers, "Just be sure." Point number four, David realized it too, but it was too late. In the parallel account, the Bible says, David's heart struck him after he had numbered the people, meaning The moment the numbers were in, katong naihap na, his conscience woke him up. David realized, I crossed a line, not a visible line, but a spiritual one. He replaced dependence with calculation. Mas ni-depend siya sa pag-ihap sa iyahang mga tao kumpara sa iyahang pagdepende sa unsay gibuhat ni Lord through His life sa una ug to His life sa una. Nga wala dito nagdepende sa size sa iyahang army. Number 5, God was angry with misplaced confidence. God's anger was not about arithmetic. It was about misplaced confidence. Kanang confidence nga gibutang na sa makita og dili sa iyaha. The numbering became sinful because it expressed pride. It replaced faith with data. It turned God's people into statistics instead of stewardship. David stopped momentarily seeing them as God's flock and started seeing them as His assets. And God takes that personally. Digto na niya gusto makita ang iyang confidence sa kadaghan o sa kakuyaw sa iyang army nga nakalimot siya nga God was enough. Point number 6, the warning to us. This story isn't ancient history. Makarelate kita ani. Because today our numbers look different. They look like balance nato sa bank, kwarta sa tong pitaka, followers, likes, views, metrics nato sa mga social media accounts, titulo, credentials, influence, trabaho, security plans without prayer, and we fall into the same trap when we say, let me see what I have before asking, Lord, what are you saying? And listen carefully. Anything that replaces trust in God or anyone, even something logical, can become sin. So here's the takeaway. God was not offended by the arithmetic nor the count. He was grieved by the confidence behind it. May we plan wisely, but trust deeply in God. May we steward numbers, but never worship them. And may our confidence always rest not in what we can measure, but in the God who goes before us. Here are our 5 challenge or discussion questions for the week. Number 1, what am I currently counting to feel secure? Kwarta, plans, connections, influence, followers, grades, or approval? Be honest. If God removed that thing, mashaken the imong peace? Number 2, where have I substituted prayer with calculation? Are there decisions I made by logic alone nga wala na ko gipangutana ang Ginoo una? What would it look like to pause and invite God into those areas again? Number 3, when numbers don't look good, how do I respond? Magpanik ba ko pag gamay na lang kog kwarta? Pressure? Ma-compromise? Or do I compare myself with others? Unsay reaction nako kung maigo ako ang bank account? Number 4, am I stewarding what God gave me or using it to prove something? Do I see people as assignments and souls or result lang sa hago para ingnong hawod ko? Number 5, what is one area where I will choose trust over control? So, name one practical step: prayer before planning, surrender before action, obedience before outcome. What will trusting God look like in real life starting today?